So this morning we've been talking about the text concerning the prodigal son. And I know just, when talking with you, you consider yourself a prodigal son. I consider myself a prodigal son. And hopefully through the lesson this morning, we all can see how we've been prodigal sons and prodigal daughters. And so I kind of want you to, if you could, kind of talk to us about that moment when you were like the son who stepped out into a far country.
I think it was the outside influence, that I had in my life at the time, kids that I met through school, kids that I met at parties, and it seemed like it just slowly kind of faded away. It was always in my heart, but eventually that other life, it just became fun, and it became more intriguing to me than coming to church, and I think it was the point. My mom always said growing up, I'd always ask her, do we have to go to church? And she'd say, son, no. And I'm like, then why are we coming? She's like, son, we don't have to go to church. We get to go to church.
What was the moment when you felt that need to accept God's grace?
Well, if I'm being truthful, it was when my ex-wife left, and she left because of my faith and what I had always believed in, and when you're raised in the church, it never leaves you. That voice is always in the back of your head, and you hear it. You ignore it a lot of times. But when you got people praying for you and, you pray, that voice, it just becomes overbearing. So one day you just can't ignore it anymore. And, I knew then that it was just something that I was never going to compromise.
Before we leave this morning, I'm sure there are people that may listen to this video this morning that are either drifting towards the door out into the far country, are struggling to spiritually and emotionally come back.
Right.
What would be your advice to both of them?
Ask God to show you the direction that you need to go. Just anybody that is struggling with that decision, just push through it. Ignore the doubts and stop ignoring God's voice, because he ain't gonna stop. He's not. And when you start listening to the spirit that's in your soul, inside of you, you can start to see where God's going to lead you. And
Amen.
It's amazing.
Well, again, brother, truly just want to say thank you.
Absolutely.
And welcome home.
Thank you. It's so good to be home. So good to be home.